Welcome back, kids. Miss Nancy wants to remind you right up front, we're going to be changing this title to Once Upon a Truth Sunday School, even though it's not on Sunday. This is for people that might grasp the title, because God gave me that title 10 years before I ever wrote any of the books. And I'm sad to say that the last book I sent in, they reject it. And it's really all God's Word anyway. But God gave me this title, so we're going to use it. It's not about Miss Nancy. It's about His Word and these stories. So it's going to be called Once Upon a Truth, and we'll remind you frequently. Today we're going to part 5 about Joseph's journey through life. And I hope you guys are loving this. It's from the time he's 17 through his life when he's 110 when he passes away. So today we're in chapter 42 of Genesis. Let's see what's happening. Now, when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, remember all the lands was in this great famine, just want to refresh you. Jacob said unto his sons, and remember Jacob is Israel. Israel and Jacob are one and the same, and Joseph is his son. Jacob said unto his sons, why do you look one upon another? And he said, behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither, and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die. That's an important reason, I'm sure. And Joseph's 10 brothers went down to buy corn in Egypt. They left the baby Benjamin at home with his dad. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren, and here's why. For he said, lest peradventure mischief befall him. Remember, as far as Israel or Jacob knows, Joseph's dead. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan, and that's where they was from. And Joseph was the governor over the land, and he it was that sold to the people of the land. And Joseph's brothers came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth, going way back to his first dream. Remember this? I'm sure Joseph does too. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, whence come ye? And they said, from the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them. And he said unto them, and I love this, Joseph, he's getting a little bit back on him. But he said, ye are spies to spy the land. Excuse me. Thy servants are no spies. We're all one man's sons. We are true men. And he said to them, nay, but to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. So he's acting like he knows they're there for another reason. And they said, thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. And Joseph said to them, that is it that I spake unto you, saying, ye are spies. He thinks they're making it up, or acting like he does anyway. Hereby ye shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh, that's the strongest thing he could have swore by, ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, he says it twice, surely ye are spies. And he put them all together in ward 3 days. There's the 3 days coming in, like Jesus, like Joseph. And Joseph said unto them the 3rd day, so he's reconsidered it, this do and live, for I fear God. If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry corn for the famine of your houses. So he's went down to all of them but one, to one, and the rest of them get to go home. But bring your youngest brother to me, so shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so. And they said one to another, we are verily guilty concerning our brother, in that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and we would not hear. Therefore is this distress come upon us. They think the Lord's finally getting them. Well, he is in a way, but anyway, we'll go on. And Reuben, remember, he's the oldest one that tried despairing, answered them, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against the child? And you would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required. And I love that. His blood is required. So was Jesus's. And they knew not that Joseph understood them. And here's why. For he spake unto them through an interpreter. And he turned himself about from them and wept, and returned to them again and communed with them, and took from them Simeon, he's the one that got picked to stay, and bound him before their eyes. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them provision for the way. And thus did he unto them. And they laded their asses with the corn, and departed thence. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender in the end, in other words, he stopped to feed the donkey, he espied his money. I can just imagine his eyes. For behold, it was in his sack's mouth. And he said unto his brethren, My money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them, and they were afraid, saying one to another, What is this that God hath done unto us? And they came unto Jacob their father, unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them, saying, The man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. And we said to him, We are true men, we are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the Lord of the country, said unto us, Hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your households, and be gone. And bring your youngest brother unto me. Then shall I know ye are no spies, but that ye are true men. So will I deliver you your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land. Well, I looked up that traffic because I thought, does that mean just traveling through? But it says no, they can come and go and buy and sell. They can just do their business in the land. And it came to pass as they emptied their sacks that, behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when both they and their father saw the bundles of their money, they were afraid. And Jacob their father said unto them, Me have ye bereaved of my children. Joseph is not, and Simeon is not, and you will take Benjamin away. All these things are against me. And Reuben spake unto his father. They talk about being true men. This time, Reuben, he shows up. He is a true man. And Reuben said this, Slay my 2 sons if I bring him not to thee. Deliver him into my hand, and I will bring him to thee again. And he said, My son, this is Israel talking, but I want you to remember, Reuben said, Slay my 2 sons. He was willing and wanted his dad to trust him so much he would have gave the life of his 2 boys. And this is Israel talking back to him. He said, My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way in the which ye go, then shall you bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. Well, he knew what the deal was. They told him he was going to have to let him go with them or else. But I'm so glad that Reuben stepped up and stood up, and he's going to stay straight for a while. So I just want you to remember this story. Joseph had fulfilled that dream somewhat, but the boys at this point scared, and they think every bit of this is from God. And really, in a roundabout way, it was, but they don't realize to what extent yet. So let's go on with the questions and answers. What did Jacob see about Egypt? He saw that there was corn in the land, didn't he? And what did he tell his sons? More or less, he said, Why are you standing here looking at each other? Go down there and get us some food. And why? So we can live and not die. And who all went? The 10 brothers. Benjamin stayed at home. His dad didn't want him going. And so, Why didn't Benjamin go? He was afraid, Joseph's dad, Israel, was afraid something would happen to Benjamin like it did to Joseph. So he didn't want him to. Why did the sons of Jacob come to buy corn? Because the famine was really sore in the Canaan where they lived. And when they got there, who was the governor over all the land? Joseph, their brother. And what did the brothers do before Joseph when they got there? Just like the dream that Joseph had, they bowed down to the ground and gave him reverence, his faces to the earth. Did Joseph know his brothers? Yes, he did. Did they know him? No, they sure didn't. How did Joseph speak to his brothers? Very roughly. And when Joseph asked where they'd come from, what did they say? They said, we came from Canaan. And why? To buy corn, to buy food. And then what did Joseph remember? He remembered his dream, didn't he? So Joseph has all this knowledge before them because they have no idea who he is. What did Joseph accuse them of being? Spies. They came to check out the land, he said. It's why you came. And what did the brothers say? No, we're not, my lord, but to buy food came us. You're servants. We came here to get food. And what all did his brothers tell Joseph then? They said, we're all the sons of one man. He's at home. Well, our least brother, he stayed with him, and then there's one that isn't. And so how did Joseph say that they were to prove that they weren't spies, but they was there for what they said? He said, I'm going to put you all in prison. And he said, we'll pick one and send him home and to get the youngest brother. But then how long were they in prison altogether? 3 days. Remember that 3-day deal. And after that, Joseph said that he feared God, didn't he? And so what did Joseph decide then? He said, I fear God and I've thought it over, so I'm going to keep one of you boys and bind you here and keep you and let the rest go on home. But what did the brothers talk about to each other in front of him? They said, we are guilty about Joseph. We saw his anguish of soul, and we didn't do anything when he besought us. And that is why all this is happening. What about that? What did Reuben say to the brothers? He said, didn't I tell you not to bother the child? But I want to go back and tell you, Reuben, he wasn't really worried about Joseph, even after he found him gone, because he was wondering about what would he tell his dad. It's a me, I kind of situation that hurts your heart. But anyway, I told you that we shouldn't sin against a child. And then he also said this, his blood is required. And remember, they had to kill a lamb of a goat or a sheep, and that was the blood that was shed, but it was innocent blood, so there's another referral. Did they know that Joseph understood them? No, and why was that? Because Joseph talked to them through an interpreter, didn't they? What did Joseph do when he heard them talking and knew that they realized, or they thought they realized, why everything happened? He turned away from them and wept. And then he came back to him and he sent them off. But who was the one that had to stay? And we don't know how long he had to stay. That's what I wonder about. Simeon. Simeon stayed. And what was Joseph's command to his servants? He said, fill their sacks with corn, give them provision for their trip, and put all their money back in their own sacks. What happened at the inn? There's the inn, a place to stay. Jesus, Joseph. I find all this so exciting. One of them opened his sack to feed his donkey, and what did he find? He found the money. When he told his brothers about it, how did they feel? They were sore afraid. I would have been too. Who did they think or say that had done this to them? They blamed it on God. And then I thought about this verse in the Bible. It says, be sure your sins will find you out. Kids, you don't get by with nothing. You might with your mom, you might with Miss Nancy if you're in my class, but you're not going to with God. What happened when they all got home? They told their dad all that had happened, and how did that make him feel? He was scared too. But anyway, they told him, said, before we go back, we have to take who with us? Benjamin, the baby. How did Jacob react to that? He said, you've already took one of my sons. He got killed. Simeon ain't even here, and now you're wanting my baby? He said, you'll bring down my gray hairs to the grave. But that ain't the end of the story. We'll pick up right there next time. Remember, we're going to be changing to Once Upon a Truth. See you, babies.